Alrighty, so I just want to go over my past history and knowledge on technical analysis and trading. I do believe that everything is cyclical and from the past historical data. And so here we go. We've got Tesla here. This was printed May 23rd, 2021. And so my prediction was after this top here where we hit resistance, it failed. We had support here, it failed. So then based on my knowledge and technical analysis, I could figure out where I could buy back in if I decided to sell here or here, and try to make some profits. So this was before the stock split that Tesla recently had a couple years ago. So this box here is where you would buy if Tesla were to drop, and this was somewhere between 280 and I think that's 360. And so after the split, I believe that estimates to about $98 to $120. So you would buy back in at $98 to $120. So let's see what ended up happening. So this is the same chart. This is a 1 month chart, and this was a 1 week chart, meaning each candlestick is here 1 month, and in the other graph it was 1 week. So surely enough, we were over around here, May 21. Yes, it did go up, and I would have lost out. That's true. However, if I did sell around here, let's say, and we see a bottom around here, that's a 63% discount where I could have bought back in and gained more shares of Tesla. So what is this price where I would have bought in? Because remember, initially I predicted between 280 and 360, which translates to about $98 to $120 per share. And surely enough, I think the bottom was somewhere around 102, it looks like. So yeah, that would have been a great scoop. Even though I would have been hurt here, that's okay, because I would have gotten a 60-some plus discount, gotten more shares of Tesla here, and I would ride it out, which I believe has hit a new all-time high after the stock split. All right, next up, we've got some cryptocurrencies. We've got XRP. So this was printed May 23rd, 2021. And this is a long-term play, meaning you would have to hold it for years and years and years, get your long-term capital gains here. So I created this pennant, and based on past historical pricing at its peak and whatnot, I kind of determined where the ceiling would be. Resistance here, which looks like 341. And then the purple line here is where it would most likely go or hold around 301, rounding up to 302. And then our support here at 239 on the white line. So this is the exact same chart. This is a 1 week chart. And then here I have 1 month. So I compacted it. Same chart, only difference is I changed the coloring to yellow on the support and the resistance lines. Whoa, ads. So it's exact same thing. Green bars, green box, purple triangle. It looks different because, once again, different candles. So when I printed it, we were over here. And we could see what ended up happening. It respected the pennant, and then it broke out. And surely enough, it hit resistance exactly at that resistance line of 341. And then prediction was that it would be somewhere around here, and it's respecting that. And then the support would be here at 239, rounding up to 240. And so now that we failed here, it's still possible to retest this. And if it breaks above, it'll most likely shoot even higher. Obviously, if we fail here, we're going to go down to here and see what ends up happening. Fails it, we go back down. Now, let's go to Bitcoin dominance chart. So the higher the chart is, the more dominant Bitcoin is. So I was predicting here that it was time to sell your Bitcoin or trade your Bitcoin into altcoins, which would have been like Ethereum, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and so forth. So this is around like 2017 and 2018. Remember, the term is the thing to remember is cyclical. So I assumed that we were going to go back to this coveted period, which we call alt season, where this is where you would multiply more than 10x, where you see a lot of volatility, a lot of parabolic movement and price action. So Bitcoin is pretty dominant here, and this is a 1 month chart. So each candlestick is 1 month. And when I printed this, I assumed that, hey, you know what? It's time to get ready and buy some Ethereum or other altcoins. So let's play out what ended up happening. Literally right after I printed this, we fall into alt season here. So remember, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just showing the results of my knowledge in technical analysis. Let's continue on with Bitcoin here. I actually made this graph with all these pitchforks and the trend lines back in 2018. And then I kind of like set it and forgot about it until Bitcoin hit over 30K. And I wanted to see what would, if it did respect my lines and my graph. And surely enough, it did. Bitcoin hit about over 40K on this one, about 41K on this. And then, so pretty much the theory is that if Bitcoin failed this trend line, we'd fall into this gray box here, which would continuously go down. But obviously you can break out of each box and move up or down to a different box. So this is going to be a little messy. This is a 1 day chart. Each candlestick is 1 day. So let's play out what ended up happening. So we broke out of the green box into the gray box above. And if we break out of the gray box here, we're in this giant blue box here. And then in the middle is this other gray box between the green and the darker gray box. So I know that sounds confusing. But surely enough, we respected this top of this blue line here. And then we went down, failed the gray box here, and respected the support of the blue box here. Rose back up, broke out of the gray box, back into the blue box. Respected that trend line so perfectly. And you could see how this was support here approximately, and then how it held here. And then let's keep fast forwarding throughout time, and failed to hold support over here, and then obviously broke down, and then we got support here, and spooky, where it gets spooky. It dumps down. Now we're back in the green box. Back in the green box here. Yep, we're stuck in the green box. Different supports and resistances here. On a smaller scale, we break out of it. And then it's trying to climb back into that gray box. And what do you know? We're back in the gray box, respecting the support and resistance of the trend line, going upwards, going sideways here. And then, surely enough, break out back into the original dark gray box. So let me play that out with a cleaner chart. It's the same exact chart, but this is much cleaner. And so let's play it out. Broke out of the green box to the top gray box. And then obviously we're missing the other trend lines, which is fine. I just wanted a cleaner looking chart. And this is where we are now. We're back in that gray box, holding it there for now. So there you go. Better view. In April of 2021, I was predicting that would have been the top of Bitcoin. It could have bounced back, but it would not go any further. Maybe, a few percentages here and there, but it would not progress and grow. It would pretty much top out, and we would hit bottom eventually within a year or two. So this yellow line is indicating that we're going to see about an 80% drop. Realistically, if you see this green box here, that would have been the support on the bottom. Somewhere around here is where you would potentially buy back in, which is around 16 to 20K, I believe. This is a screenshot from my cell phone back in, I think, May of this is like 2021, April or May. But I remember at the end of April, I was like, hey, you know what, Bitcoin, got to get out of it, because I was also looking at these other indicators here, like this purple line here, and it was just going too crazy, and it was time to get out of it. So let's see what ended up happening. So this is a 6-month chart, same exact chart as this. So this was 1 week, you see it right there, and then I printed a 6-month chart. So when I zoomed out and looked at the whole history of Bitcoin here on this exchange here on Binance, I saw a shooting star pattern. So a shooting star is a candlestick with a long wick on the top. So pretty much what that means is that, the pricing went all the way up here, but then it got suppressed down, got sold pretty quick, and then that told me that we are on our way down. So that was another way to indicate if the price action would be going down, up or down, and this told me that we were going to head downwards in the next couple 6-month candles. So the next year and a half or two, we would be on our way down. So let's play it out. And surely enough, the next couple 6-month candles, we did in fact go down, and we bottomed out here. And we started a new cycle that we're in now, and we're climbing, and we'll see where that ends up. So we've got our distribution, accumulation, distribution, sold, and then you would reaccumulate, buy back in right there on the bottom. So once again, this pricing approximately, let's just say 16K to 20K is when you would buy back. So you would have to be really patient to pull this off. And I believe that's what makes a really good trader. So remember, this is I believe this is the same chart. This was printed April 22nd, 2021. So I created this bar here that determined where, if Bitcoin were to bounce back in this time range, it would be somewhere around here, the top of this bar. And then it would bottom out somewhere around here before it really peters out and like dies off for a little bit. So let's play it out. Let's see what happened. Surely enough, Bitcoin bottomed out around here in this time range, and over here in November, it did bounce back, but I knew it was going to fail. So Bitcoin didn't really go as far above here. That's an estimate. That's good. And then surely enough, we bottomed out, it looks like November of 22, and surely enough, what is that? About 16K rounding up from 50. What is that exact price? Let's get somewhere around 15.7K. Close enough. I would have bought back in at 16K, and then let's play it out. New cycle, and now we're on our way up. Let's go back here. So once again, I determined that Bitcoin would drop about 80%. Buy back in that green box, 16K in the future. So if you are patient enough, you would have gotten that. So now let's get into some politics real quick, where things get really interesting here. So this is the DXY, which is the US dollar index, and I actually tracked it by different US presidents. And I color-coded it based on their political affiliation, their party affiliation. So we have Reagan, Bush, red, Clinton, blue, Bush, red, Obama, blue, Trump, red, and then Biden, blue, and then so forth. So this is printed April 20th, 2021. I created this chart back in 2018 in the middle of Trump's first term. So I noticed a trend that whenever we ended up having a Republican president, we would see the dollar value drop down while a blue president would bring it back up, and so forth. And so this green pennant here, I had a tough time creating a pennant, so I had to wait a little bit for the Trump years to get some more data to create this pennant. So I created a long green pennant here, which is ironically enough post 9/11 presidents. I don't know. It's just funny how things have been kind of weird since 9/11. But so we've got this long green pennant. Let's play out what ended up happening. So this was created, I think, when we had a near bottom on Trump's first term around June 2018, because I needed a bottom somewhere to determine to create this pennant. Anyway, also this green arrow, all these arrows here. So like the yellow arrow here determines like the height of where the price action can go based off this pennant size, and so forth with this down arrow here and up and whatnot. So in a way, you can actually predict who the next president would be, essentially. So let's see Joe Biden's arrow. So Joe Biden actually broke out of this pennant a little bit, which kind of signaled that, hey, if we have a blue president, maybe we will fulfill this price movement upwards. And then if we have a red president, since, red presidents seem to go down, we're going to fulfill the price action downwards. However, let's go to an updated chart. The pennants are all the same. The lining and the graphs are all the same. The only difference is that I changed the colors around in the font of each president to be bigger. So yeah, this is the exact same chart. This is 1 month, so it looks more compact. And then and it's updated on the color coding. So this was last updated once again back in 2021. So Biden did fulfill the top here in the dollar index, and then now that Trump is president, he had, I think this is day 2. We're all we have a red candle, but anyway, let's ignore that. So this doesn't mean that Trump is going to bring us all the way down here, because we still have this pennant here all the way till 2034. So things can just kind of move down to the bottom of this pennant here and then back up and so forth until the inevitable up or down. This pennant shape is interesting. It's still pointing upwards, which indicates downwards momentum on the next move. So hopefully we won't ever see our dollar go this low compared to other world currencies, but would love to see our dollar be very strong and go towards this direction. So we'll see the next 4 years what ends up happening. I'm actually going to update this, and yeah, that is it. So technical analysis, it's fun, it's spooky, and holds some truth.